Hi everyone, I'm Jodi Barrows with the Square in a Square. Welcome to our live webinar today on August the 20th of 2024. Now we tried to go live a little bit earlier today when we had it scheduled and we had a power outage, and so we had to wait for the power to come back on, and then we had to reboot everything. Now, anytime this happens, that we have some type of technical difficulty, we always come back just as soon as possible. Most of the time, it's within that same day, within a few minutes to an hour. But if it's a longer extended time of power outage or technical difficulties, then sometimes we reschedule it for the next day. So we're sorry for that. Beyond our control. We still have about 1,200 houses in our area that do not have power for whatever reason that is. Of course, we got no notification about that today, so it was a mishap of some kind at the power company. So welcome to our live webinar, and this is quilt season, and we are ramping up, gearing up, preparing, and so excited to present to you our fall semester of our Premium Club and our Quilt Club Week that we do once a year. Now, those of you that are new to us, you may be saying, I don't know about any of this. What is going on? Well, first of all, I have been in the quilt world for about 40 years, and I invented a quilting system called the Square in a Square. And what this does is it helps remove the human element so you get more speed, more accuracy, and every quilter can become the quilter that they've always dreamed of. We do the Square in a Square system, we do something that I call overcutting, and we do the science of patchwork. And when you learn these things and add them to the skills and knowledge that we teach, then you can become a master piecer. It's really that easy. I believe that most any quilter can make most any quilt that they want to make when you follow the Square in a Square system and you understand the science of patchwork, and that's what we teach. Now, Quilt Club Week is the last full week of September, so it's like the that week that has like the 25th in it. I know I've got it on here somewhere. It starts actually on September the 22nd. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday are open to the public, to anyone, and then on Wednesday it goes into our teaching website, and just our members of Quilt Club Week and our members of Premium Club can go in and watch that. Now you can go to our website. It's squareinaSquare.com. And there's a little banner at the top. It shows you how to sign up for our email so you won't miss anything. It shows you how to sign up for Quilt Club Week, and it shows you how to sign up for Premium Club. Now I'm going to show you a bunch of quilts. I have them layered on here. I don't have any idea how many there are. I'd say at least 8, probably 12 or more. And these are the ones that we're going to be teaching for our 2024 Quilt Club Week. Now we started Quilt Club Week in 2020 when they shut everything down and no one could go to a quilt show anymore. And so I thought, how can we bring a quilt show online to them with all of the fun and excitement? So when you go to a quilt show, for those of you that have never been, or maybe you have and you need a little bit of a review, you go through and you see the vendors and you see what's new, you see some demos, you may sit in for a seminar, sign up for a lecture, and even able to take classes. So that's what Quilt Club Week is all about. It's about fun and excitement, getting your mojo back, and learning some new tips and hints and seeing what's new and what's going on. Now the other thing is that when you go to a quilt show, you can go with a friend. So when we have this in Quilt Club Week and Premium Club, then you're gathered together with other like-minded people that are watching and participating, taking the classes. There's areas where you can comment and talk, and it's really a great community. It's a great quilt society to be a part of. And so we want to invite everyone to come to Quilt Club Week and to come and join Premium Club. Now, as we teach in these next few weeks leading up to Quilt Club Week, and of course today, you'll get information on Quilt Club Week and Premium Club, and you can go to the website and sign up for those. But if you're on our email list, then you got a notification, you got an email that we were having our webinar today. You also got a PDF that has our schedule on it for the next 6 weeks. And you also got some pages that are the new quilts and the new kits. And I'm going to say our new fabric, which is our batik print fabric, and our new quilts that we have made out of them. And you're going to see them live today in some of these that I have to show. So We're going to be teaching on Mondays for Premium Club, and that's for our members. And you guys will get an overview on Monday, August 26th. You can go through here. Also on our teaching website, there's a schedule or a calendar where you can go in and get what's going on for that month.
And if you're a member of Premium, on there also is the download. You can download from Premium. Even though I sent it in the email,
It's also on, yeah, everything's
download for
always backed
Premium
up.
is going to be
Yeah.
on the teacher website.
Everything's always backed up on our Premium Club website. So if for some reason you lost your email or deleted it or whatever, the PDFs and the downloads are there. And that's our schedule if you want to print them out. And then also our kit list with the quilts that I'm going to show you today. Now next week on Tuesday, when we do our next webinar for everyone, we will have new quilts on there that didn't make it into the trunk show this week and into your PDF. So make sure you watch for those and look at those, and then of course print them off if you want to. So on Mondays we'll start in with our fall Premium Club classes, and in Premium Club it's set up kind of like a school or a university or a campus. We do fall classes from Labor Day to the holidays of Thanksgiving, somewhere around 9 classes in the fall. We focus on the teaching and what you're learning, but you can also make a quilt or multiple quilts out of what we teach each week. And then our second semester, our spring semester, goes from January, about the second week of January, to Mother's Day. So anywhere from 12 to 15 classes are our spring semester. So we have a little bit more time in the spring, so we have a quilt that's a little bit more in depth. And once again, you can use for your stash. Sometimes we have kits available and so on. But it's a great, it focuses on learning and skills and knowledge. And that's what the Premium Club is all about. You can take these skills and knowledge and then you can put them in on any quilt or project that you're working on, because it's not just for that quilt or what we're teaching that particular day. It's to help build up your knowledge and your skills so that you can be successful. And that's one of the things that I love about the club is that it teaches you to become successful in something that you love. And because it's all online, then you can go back in anytime and rewatch or watch again. Maybe you weren't able to join us for the live class because of your schedule, or just the persnickety of life, like the electricity going out, our power going out today, and you may need to go in later to watch it. So I love that we have all of this online, and you can go back in and watch as many times as you want and over again. In the Premium Club, there's hundreds of hours in there of teaching from all of these different semesters from multiple years of doing this. Now, we get text messages. We have a quilting hotline, 817-713-2879, and on that you can text, you can send pictures, you can do a little video, and you can show me what you're wanting to make, what you're having trouble with, what you need help with, or just show me what you're having fun with. That's always good to do too. And then I can make a little video or send pictures, direct you to certain pages in the books to give you the help that you need. So your teacher is there with you for hands-on, even though we're online and you may be halfway across the earth. I'm still there to help you when you need help with the project that you're working on. Now, I have a whole stack here. I have lots of stacks of these, and these are emails and text messages that we get from people. And I just want to read you one of these, and what I was talking about a few minutes ago reminded me of this one that was right here on top. But this one is, she says, learning this technique, so that would be the square in a square, has helped me to no end. Jodi's teaching and Steve's behind the scene work has created the best group I have ever known. Simple instructions made fun allows confidence to build in each student. Steve and Jodi have great products at work. The workbooks and the pattern books are written fabulous. Everything about this site and program sets you up to succeed, and that's what reminded me of this particular text from one of our students is that it teaches you to succeed. It helps you. It improves on your work. So many times you think, oh, I'm just this skill level of quilter or sewer and I can't get up past that. But with what we teach, you can. You can become the piecer that you've always wanted to be. The people in the group are warm, supportive, and friendly, just like the creators of the group. So great job, everyone. I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoy it. So as we go along today, I'm going to read some different reviews that people have given us and text messages, because I always think that for those of you that don't know anything about us, that's some of the best help for you to learn about us and who we are and what we do, and just the level of teaching that we have and the integrity that we have in our business. So make sure you go to the website, squareandasquare.com, sign up with our email so that you can get your emails and you won't miss anything that we're doing and teaching, because we have got a really heavy pace to keep up with for the next 6 weeks, and I want you to be able to stay in step with us so that you can have all of the fun and the creativity and the motivation that you need to get going in this quilt season. So now when we start our kickoffs and our promotions for quilt season, for Quilt Club Week and Fall Premium Club, we always have new fabric to show you. We have fabric sales, and we're not just going to show you everything all at once. Each Tuesday when we do our live webinars building up to the end of September, we're going to show you a little bit more. But the items that I'll show you today that are on the promotion and sale are limited. There may be 1 or 6. There's not a lot of them. So make sure you jump in on those and don't wait, because if you wait for the end of our 6-week promotion or for Quilt Club Week, most likely everything I'm showing you today as far as the sale items will be gone, and I'm just going to kind of put them in every once in a while. We're going to look at these beautiful quilts that we're going to be teaching here in the next few weeks, and we're also going to do a demo of the Square and a Square system. You're going to see the first 3 options that are the main options, actually the basic square and the 3 options, so 4 things. So if you can learn these 4 things and master what I'm going to show you here in the demo with the Square and a Square, you'll be able to just increase your skills and your knowledge, your quilting game, and be able to create all these beautiful quilts that we're going to show you today. So the first thing we want to do is, let's go ahead and bring camera 1 down, and let's go ahead and do our demo for the Square in a Square. So everything we do starts out just like this, with a square in the middle and strips on the side. And of course you can do your colors however you need for whatever project you're working on. So this is really easy to do, and this is the main concept of the Square in a Square system. Every quilt I'm going to show you, every quilt I make, starts out just like this, with a square in the middle and strips on the side. Now we have a very fast chain piecing method that we use on these.
And then see if I can move it over.
Got a camera issue?
Well, I want to move this over, and I guess it's not set up right.
So while he's working on that and setting that, I just want to remind you that last year for Quilt Club Week, and you can go into YouTube, Facebook, Premium Club, Quilt Club Week, any of those resources, you can go in and you can watch the option overview that we did last year. We covered so many options. We started at the beginning of how to build these, how to sew these together, and then how to go in and learn your options, because once you learn the options, then it's very easy to come in and make the quilts. So this is what we call the option overview book. And so go in and watch those videos that we did last year of 2023, right before Quilt Club Week. There's, I don't know, maybe 8 hours or so. So it's very in-depth and a lot of information that you'll get that I'm not going to show you today, and a lot of great tips and hints. So go in and look for your option overview and watch those and get your skills honed up on the basic square and really the main trimmings. There's 2 trimmings, and once you know them, then you are ready to rock and roll and make just about any quilt. I always say most any quilt. So here you can see how we have the square in the middle and the strips on the side. Of course, you can do anything with your color, and color is another whole teaching process of how to know where to put your color so that it shows up in the quilt where you want it, and then also just how to work with color in general. I think that's the thing that people struggle with the most, is what fabrics and colors do I put together to go in that quilt, and we do have a lot of teachings on that in the clubs and also just in the webinars. So you can get the free webinars, Quilt Club Week, Premium Club. Just go to the website, and if you have any questions, or help, you can always email and we'll direct you right to that location that you need. So everything starts out with your square and your strips. And of course you can do any color and any size that you want. And then there's two ways to trim your basic squares with your ruler. You can trim leaving that 1/4 of an inch off of that corner. So you need a 1/4 of an inch off of this point. And on this particular one, we did it on all 4 points. But I want you to look at this one right here. This one we did the 1/4 of an inch at the top and at the bottom, but on the other 2 sides we did right up to the tip. So what I'm going to show you is how to trim leaving the 1/4, and I'm going to show you how to trim up to the tip. Now the reason why you trim different is because you're going to be getting different shapes. So different final shapes are what you are going to get from your basic square. We actually go into option 44, I think, so that means 44 different triangle units or shapes that you can get, all starting out with a square in the middle and strips on the side. If you're totally new to this, go back into YouTube and Facebook and watch some of the videos. Also go to our website into the free webinars, and you'll just be amazed at the opportunities that this simple basic square gives you when you follow along with the system. Now also this is a live event, so you can go anytime into the questions or comments and go in and ask us a question. And if it's something that we can answer today, then we'll be happy to do so. Now this one is the mini ruler. We also have what we call the original, and I would say that you can start with either one of these, the one that we call the original, which is this one, or the one that we call the mini. And also on the website there's different information in detail about the different rulers. But as far as trimming the options, both of those rulers will trim the options. This one is called the mini just because it's smaller in size. It doesn't have anything to do with the size of block or the size of quilt that you're going to make. And every quilt that I'm going to show you today in class, in this webinar, you'll be able to make with the mini ruler. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the 90 on the ruler. So find your 90. And this first set of lines where they come together and touch, the tip of that 90 we're going to put right in the tip or the corner of that square. You can see there that that's a 1/4 of an inch. So we're going to leave a 1/4 of an inch when we trim it up. So see how you just push it or snug it right into that corner. The black lines on the ruler go right over your seam, and your grid line goes right through that point. Now this will show you if all of this cutting and sewing that you did was correct. And so right now at this point, you know, is this a good piece that I can keep working with, or is it one that I need to make an improvement with? And that's what I love about the system, is the human can do the cutting and the sewing and the pressing here. And then when it's time to come in and cut and get the shape, you know right then. You don't have to be surprised later in that, oh, it works great, or oh man, this one isn't good. It'll tell you right here, and you can make the adjustments that you need to make. Now, if it was not lining up the best, then I would go and check. We'll just say this is corner number 1. I'd go check corner 2, 3, or 4, and I would start with the best corner. Because it's like putting your best foot forward or making that first impression. That's always the most important. And so you want to be as accurate as you can. So if that one's not lining up the way you want it to, then just go in and try another corner and see if it lines up better. Because once you make this first cut on your work, you're going to keep your block square as you come around and trim all of those corners. So that's why it's important to put your best foot forward and go with the best corner. Because as we go around, if it's not perfect, you'll be able to make that adjustment, and that's how you improve on the human element. So now we're moving around to the next corner to cut. We're doing an option 1 where you leave the 1/4 of an inch on all 4 corners, and you get option 1 that we call square in a square. So notice how the 90 repeats in the corner, the lines repeat over the seams, grid line through that opposite point, and now we look here to see if the fabric underneath looks neat with the horizontal or vertical lines. Now on this one it lines up perfectly, but that has to do with the size of square I'm working with. So it could come down or above that line because it It's determined by this size of square. So it's not that your fabric is always perfectly with the line. It's does the line and the cut edge of your fabric look even, neat, and parallel. So do they line up neatly or do they line up crooked? You have to make this one right here nice and neat and straight, and you have to leave the 1/4 of an inch good. If your lines don't line up perfect at this point, don't worry about it. Keep your 1/4 of an inch and keep it square where you've already cut. So now we're just going to repeat and go around to all 4 sides, and this would be our option 1. Now you'll notice that they're slightly blunted in the corners, and that's okay. That helps remove any bulk in your seam. Now obviously if they're too much, that's a problem, and either your seam was too big or your strip was not wide enough. Somewhere you cut the wrong size, picked up the wrong square, wrong strip, or something. Now if you're ever worried about the corner and how much is there, you can go in with your ruler and line the edges of your ruler up with this 90 corner. You can see that 1/4 of an inch line here and here, and right there is where your seam is going to be, right where those 2 lines touch and come together, and that tells you if you have enough in that seam or corner. So if you know, maybe sometimes you're working with scraps and you just picked something up and it's not quite wide enough. Also, if your seam is too big, it's going to eat up that fabric in the seam, so it's all going to be over here instead of out in that corner. But the main thing is blunted corners are okay. When you look at the pictures in the book, you'll see that they all have slightly blunted corners. Now that one dark corner was a little hard to see, but maybe you can see this one a little bit better, where the 1/4 of an inch lines come, and there's going to be your point or your intersection. You'll be just fine. So that's your option 1, and that's trimming, leaving the 1/4 of an inch. Now to make our flying geese, you start out the same with your basic square, and you trim 2 opposite sides, leaving the 1/4 of an inch, and you go right up to the tip on the other 2 sides. So that's because you're going to cut it in half, and you're going to get 2 flying geese out of there, and you have to move that point and create a seam allowance in here where you didn't have one. When you come back and sew a 1/4 and a 1/4, your point will be right there, just exactly where it needs to be. So to do the 2-step, we call that the 2-step trim or the sharp trim. You put your 90 in there, and you're just going to step over 2 lines. So just slide it 1, 2, make the tip of the line go right into the tip or the corner of that square. Go to that tip, and that horizontal line will go right through that opposite point and make your cut. So let's do that to the opposite side. We want to see it's a sharp one. There's not a 1/4 of an inch. So there's our 90, and we're going to 2-step it. And of course, we have to look here to make sure we're staying as square as possible where we've already cut. And now on these 2 sides, we're just going to trim, leaving the 1/4 of an inch. Now, of course, in all of your patterns and instructions in the book, it gives you sizes for squares and strips. There's charts so that you can do your own creating and design. And there is troubleshooting, just all kinds of information. So now we're going to cut right through the middle where those 2 steps or those sharp trims were. And you can see how we have 2 perfect flying geese. Now, anytime in a pattern that we need to pay attention to where the color is on a certain thing, we always, of course, give you a heads up of that and tell you where your colors go so that you can get these in the exact spot that you need them to be. Now, if I was going to make a star, we're going to look at a little orange star quilt here in a minute. Look at this, how you could put 4 together and make that little star just as nice and neat and perfect as that is right there. So let's move over here to this quilt and let's look at what we have. So in this particular little quilt, we've used our flying geese just like this to make a star. We have a plain square in the corners and a plain square in the middle. So that is our little star. And this little quilt right here is one of our new ones. This one is called Pumpkin Star. And it is a kit and a pattern that's all available on our website right now. It was not one that you had in your downloads. If you got the email, we'll probably showcase it next week, but whoops, here we go. So there's your little star right there, so you can see how your flying geese are here. That's the work. That's the main work of this little star. And look how easy it is to do with your basic square and the square in a square system with all of its trimming on. And then we have this one right here. Now this one I call the soldier's block. There's a quilt that I've had for many, many years where we've used this block, and it was called Soldier's Comfort, so we just call it the soldier block. So here you can see how it has the same squares in the corner, just a different color like our little star. Square in the middle, just like we had with our star. And then where we had our flying geese, we just have a rectangle in there. And then these just alternate through the quilt, and when they come together, just block next to block, all in rows, you get this wonderful interaction going here through the quilt. And this quilt is approximately 40 by 40. It's called Pumpkin Star. It is on the website. It's ready to ship. So you can go in and mark that one, that's one that you love. And the thing that I really like about this is our orange bow tie from the vintage collection, and our black stick and our tan yellow fuzzy leaf are the fabrics that we use in here. And these are all of our designs that we have, and I have some reviews about the fabrics that I'll read to you here in a little while, because it can be scary if you're new to ordering fabrics online, and I want you to feel confident about your fabrics. And then we've got the orange bow tie on the back. So Pumpkin Star, easy, simple to do. We're going to be teaching this. We're going to show you how to do this all in strip piecing, so we don't cut individual squares or individual rectangles. That's one of the pieces of the science of patchwork, is we don't cut out individual units. We do as much cutting and sewing as pressing in what I call the raw form as we can, and then we go in and cut and make it perfect, because the human element is in the cutting of the original piece, the sewing, the pressing, and then of course in the trimming when you get to the final. And so if there's any mistakes in here anywhere in the cutting, sewing, and pressing of the beginning of any of your units, then when you get ready to come in here to trim, whether it's for your star points or for your squares and rectangles, you know exactly where you have a fault of the human element, and you can improve on it at that point. So there's no other system in the quilt world, there's no other system in the quilt world that helps you remove that human element after the human has done some of the work. So that's the thing that is the magic in the square in a square system, is that the human can do some of the work and then come in and check it to see how perfect it is and make improvements on it at that point. And that's the science of patchwork, and that's what I love teaching and showing you guys, because we're human. We can't make every piece in every quilt perfect. With our cutting, sewing, and pressing, the fabric is we're working in a medium that has movement to it, and so it's going to be affected with the handling and with the pressing and with steam and starch. And so it's so great to be able to do the human element and then come in and know where the issues are and be able to improve upon it at that point. And the improving does not involve a seam ripper, does not involve making a date with Jack to get that right. So I love that. I love it, love it, love it. So let's look at the one more option, and we did the option 1, where we did the 1/4 of an inch on all 4 sides. We did option 3, flying geese, where we learned the 2-step on 2 opposite sides and cutting in half to get our flying geese. And now we're going to learn how to make half square triangles. And what I love about the half square triangles is that there's no grids to draw, no papers, no prep work. You just get in and start cutting and sewing your pieces together and then come in and trim them up. So I love that. So when you look at the half square triangles, you see how the seam needs to go right to the tip of all of those corners. So we're going to do that two-step trim like we did here, because see how that seam has to go right to that point? That's what we want with half square triangles. So when you come back in and sew a fourth and a fourth, your point will be right there exactly where it needs to be. So with the option 4 half square triangles, we're going to two-step all 4 corners. So you do this on all 4 corners, then you're able to cut both directions and have your half square triangles just like that. No papers to peel, no dog ears to trim off, no extra work. It all comes off just in the regular trimming and cutting up of the piece. So that's option 4 half square triangles. And of course, any colors and any size are what you can make. So let's look at some quilts that are behind us. And let's talk about some of these quilts, where you can find them, when we're teaching them, so on and so on. So this particular one right here is called the Fall Inspired Double Star. So it's an individual pattern that you can order called Double Star, or you can order it in the kit for these sizes and these colors. So just like the pumpkin star, this one here, you can use all fall. So you can use it basically from the end of August all the way to Thanksgiving. And when you're ready to put up your Christmas items, then this one can come down, and you didn't use it just for a month or a month of Halloween or a week of Thanksgiving. It's a quilt that you can use all through the time. And of course, these quilts are very easy to make larger or smaller, just make more blocks or less. So this one is called Fall Inspired Double Star. So here you can see the little star here, and we used our option 3 flying geese in here, just like you saw me trim down there to make our star. And then this is an option 1. So we trimmed, leaving the 1/4 of an inch to get this whole block right here that is a setting block for your star. But when you put them together in rows, see how you get the larger purple star going around the black star that's on the inside. So this one is a kit. You can order loose yardage if you want to just pick up something and then add it to your stash to make your quilt. Or if you like it just like this, then you can go in to the website and order it. It is Fall Inspired Double Star. The kits are ready to go. We can ship them out immediately for it and for our beautiful little pumpkin star right here in the orange. Questions from anyone before we go on to the next one? So this one will be taught, I don't always remember exactly the day that it's going to be taught, but this, I'm pretty sure this one will be taught in some of that lineup working up to Quilt Club Week. So it could be on one of those Tuesdays before, or that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday before the actual Quilt Club Week, okay? Now let's move the camera down to this one over here. That is our Gold Rush. So this one is the Gold Rush pattern, and I love it. This is made out of our vintage fabric collection. It mixes 4 applique blocks with your 369 square blocks. This is the Gold Rush block. These fabrics and this block, and putting them on point, adding a little bit of applique to it. This is just an exquisite, beautiful quilt. I've actually made this quilt multiple times. I think this is my 4th one that I have, and I just love it. In any fabric collection that you have is going to be really pretty. This one was a download that you got in your email. For those of you that are on the email list and got the email yesterday, this was one of your downloads so that you can see the information, the sizing, the particulars about all of it. It's probably about between 60 and 70 inches. It's square, but of course quilts are very easy, just to add another row on the bottom or on the side to make your quilts larger or smaller. If you're wanting it to fit a certain bed, then it's very easy to do. And these are the vintage fabrics from the original vintage collection that we have, and you can see all of those fabrics individually on the website. And this one will be taught during one of the days of Quilt Club Week. Now the other thing about this quilt is that the machine quilting on it is one that Kathy Corella, that's one of our teachers during Quilt Club Week, she teaches machine quilting, how to take your regular tabletop sewing machine and how to do beautiful quilting on your quilts. Now on this one in particular, she's talking about if you want to quilt it before you do your applique, or do you want to do your applique and then have it quilted. So she's talking about both of those different opportunities that you have, and I think you'll really learn a lot. Kathy has every year for Quilt Club Week, Kathy has a lot of great quilting in there, and not only can you take these tips and hints from your regular sewing machine that you're sewing on, but a lot of them you can adapt over to a long arm if you have the wonderful opportunity to have a long arm either in your sewing room or have a wonderful friend that you get to go visit her long arm. That's always an added plus. So this one is called Gold Rush, and it will be taught during the private days of Quilt Club Week. So that means Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And this one is called Gold Rush. Now also this flaming black bud, we are getting down to the end of it. So if you haven't snatched any of that up, go to the website and get that one ordered. And of course, it's in the kits. If you order the kit, then our kits are always exactly the way that we show the quilt. And if it's not, then I always let you know about it before we ship it. You can, if there's a change, then it's on the website or whatever, because I want you to look at your kit and know exactly what to do with it and not be wondering about a piece of fabric that's different than what is photographed or in the quilt. Okay? So this one is Gold Rush. It's put on point. Really a beautiful quilt. So questions? Nope. Okay, let's read another review. So this one says, she tells us about what she's working on, and she's new to Quilt Club Week and Premium Club. And she said, when I opened, meaning the Quilt Club Week, when I opened it today to enjoy Quilt Club Week, it hit me with, wow, is this club ever worth the membership? There are so many hours of teaching in here, and I'm definitely gonna just start and get it done. And then another one wrote and said, looking forward to everything you have in store for us this year. Thank you both for all of your hard work, your tips and hints, your teaching and encouragement is priceless. I've been with you for over a year and have so much more confidence. My skills are improving and I no longer get irritated when pieces don't fit together properly, because they do. So I love that. That's part of that, knowing that there's a human element in here and being able to fix it at the opportune time. So a couple of really sweet reviews from different people. Now this one is about the fabric. I said I would read you some about the fabric, because if you're new to ordering our fabrics online, these are my own designs. We have them printed at the top mills. We don't worry about any bleeding or color issues or raveling. It's beautiful to touch and to work with, and it just really makes exquisite quilts. And I know many of you that are watching today and on here have the fabric and have sewn with them and are, you know, excited. We got one from one lady one day. She says, I won't ever get any other fabric except yours. So this one says, what amazing material, such great quality. You have created a monster in me, and I'm dissecting all kinds of blocks and quilts using the information you have given me to be able to create patterns on my own. And this one says, I have totally immersed myself in your videos in your portal. As you so often recommended, I have made so many connections and have numerous square-and-square skills embedded in my brain. The Firefly is really starting to come together. Now, the Firefly is something that I introduced in Premium Club. It'll be 2 years ago now, and we have a Firefly book. And during some of our live teachings that we're going to be doing on these Tuesdays, I'm going to show you the Firefly, and it's just another skill and another method to help improve and make quilts with lots of different triangles with such speed and accuracy. It's just amazing. And she said the firefly is really starting to come together for me. And that's happened because she's watching the videos over and over and over again. And like she said, embedding them in her brain. I just want you to know that as I'm sewing, I'm learning, I've gained even more appreciation for your teaching and the amazing value of the Premium Club and Quilt Club Week. I am a National Board Certified Teacher of Mathematics, and I would like for you to know that wholeheartedly, I believe your teaching is the quilting world's equivalent of holding a National Board Certified certification in the amazing Square and a Square system. I so very much appreciate your system and the extreme high quality of teaching and production that you and Steve work so hard to bring us in the Premium Club and Quilt Club Week. I so appreciate it, and it is a treasure. And for those of you that don't know, Steve is my husband. He is a retired pharmacist, and he now does all the IT and online and websites and everything. And he's, you know, I may be able to design it and think of it, but he's the one that actually gets it to you. So a big thank you to Mr. Steve, and I know you guys love and appreciate him for what he does, and how he's made a lot of this available to you guys. So let's look at this quilt right here. This one right here is called Bride's Vase. It uses our Paradise fabric, and it is a kit that you can get. And you may look at it with all those points and all of these intersections coming together. But once again, with the Square and a Square system, we make it so speedy and so accurate and so easy. Anybody can make this bride's vase. You're going to be learning about an option that we call option 10, which is this whole little section right here. We have tips and hints on 4 patches and 9 patches to make those perfect for you. And then don't even worry about this unusual angle down here on the vase. That is what we call option 18, and it's just as easy to sew and cut and put together as these other options that I've shown you. So we talked about how we had a square in the middle with strips on the side and chop it up to get different units. That's what we do with that one. It's a diamond in the middle. So it's going to look like this. You have your diamond shape in the middle and your strips on the side. You're going to use your same ruler. See, that's the other thing about the Square and a Square system, is you use one ruler to make all of your different shapes. You don't have to buy multiple rulers or buy them in multiple sizes to be able to create the perfect units. So this one is part of the diamond options, and you're going to be making option 18. So basically you'll trim up each corner with that same ruler. We have the 30s, the 60s, and the 120s on the ruler, and you're going to cut it in half. And so you're going to get that vase, when you get it all trimmed up, you can see how you get that vase shape right there. So it's just that easy to do. And this is one that is taught during Premium Club, during the Wednesday to Saturday. Now this one is also taught by Sherry Esposito. She is one of my teachers. We have Sherry, we have Kathy Corella, and we have Kay Roberts, and they show you different quilts. They have their own skills and their own attributes that they bring to the quilting club, and I really appreciate that. And once you watch some of Kay and Kathy's videos, you're just going to laugh and love them because they are really a hoot. I call them my, when I think about Walt Disney characters, they're my little Chip and Dale, because you know how Chip and Dale, the little chipmunks, were always like, you go first. Oh no, you go first. Well, you go first. Well, let's do it like this. Well, let's do it like that. And they're just a hoot, and they really add the laughter and the comedy to Quilt Club Week. Some of the text messages I've gotten from people is like, I was laughing out loud so hard my husband came in to see what was going on and what I was laughing at, because he wanted to laugh and have a good time too. So you'll really enjoy the teachers that we have at Quilt Club Week. And this one is called Bride's Vase. Now I want you to look at this beautiful border. This is all option 1s. So that option 1 that we leave the 1/4 of an inch on all 4 corners, that's what we've done to make this border. So right there you can see that option 1, and we just put pink on one side and purple on the other side and sew them together for the border. And in Premium Club we did, I think it was 3 Januaries ago, So maybe of 22 or 21, we did from January to May, each week in our live classes, we talked about a different option, how to figure sizes on them, and how to create borders with them, because pieced borders don't have to be difficult or hard. They don't have to be a struggle. You know, so many times we work so hard on the inside of the quilt that we just put some strips on it and call it done, because we don't want to do any more piecing. We don't want the hassle of trying to figure out sizes and shapes. But with all of these different units, the over 40 shapes and units that the Square in a Square system offers, you can make just exquisite, beautiful borders with speed and accuracy and help remove that human element. So this one is called Bride's Face. So this is kind of like, let's make a deal. You wait for the curtain to come down, and so that you see what's behind door number 1 and door number 2 and door number 3. So this one's quilted, so it's pretty heavy. I don't want any of the other ones to come down. Now this one right here is out of the Paradise Fabric Collection. It's our green cobblestone, and it is called Turkey Tracks, and it is taught by Kay during Quilt Club Week. Now, one of the things that I love about our classes when we teach them is that we don't just go in and show you how to make that shape and how to put it together for the block. We actually show you multiple quilts in multiple colors and talk about the placement of those colors and the different look that you'll get when you do that. So this particular quilt shows the green part of the turkey track of the block, the same as the setting square, with just a little bit of background in here. And then Kay's done a little bit of a different option 3 flying goose border on hers. It makes this light one kind of stand out, and this makes kind of a ribbon turn on it. In the other quilts that we show you during Quilt Club Week, we show where those flying geese are all turned the same direction, and it looks like prairie points for your border on the quilt. And then also we show you how when this square and this is the same color, we show you how when all of this is light in the background and your turkey is dark, and then we also show you the reverse of that. Just switching up 2 colors with different placement is amazing, the different looks that you get. And I really love the lecture and the creativity that goes on before we ever teach you the block and how to sew it and put it together. So it's not just a class on how to make the quilt, but it's a class on looking at quilts and deciding where to put your fabrics to get different looks. It helps you be imaginative and creative, and to come up with works of art that you can be proud of and really enjoy. So this one is called Turkey Tracks. We do have it in kits. It's on the website, ready to roll. And you do have a couple of choices for your kits. You can do one in the pink flower dot, in the yellow flower dot from the Paradise Fabrics, or you can choose this green cobblestone. And it's just so soft and so beautiful. I really, really like these fabrics in here for the turkey track. Any questions or anything from anyone? Okay. Now, this one that you're looking at is the pineapple quilt, and this is one that Sherry teaches during Quilt Club Week. We've got multiple kits in multiple colors, and we've got multiple ones to show you. So before the actual class in Quilt Club Week, we show you the different quilts, the different colors, the different fabric placement. So it really allows you, once again, to be very creative with your work. And you're not just learning how to make that one particular quilt, but you're gaining skills and knowledge that you can apply to other quilts, other projects, other work that you're doing. And that's what I love about our teaching, is it's not just, oh, here, do it like this, sew it together, and bam, it's done. We really go in depth on everything that we do. This one uses the Paradise fabric. We've used the purple flower dot, the green cobblestone, and the orange Paradise bird, and the black in here for the setting cornerstones and for the middle of the pineapple block and in the border really make that quilt pop, and it's the key ingredient to that beautiful color collection. Now the pineapple quilt is really very, very easy to do. You don't have to sew on papers. You don't have to do any of this funky stuff. It's option 12 of the Square in a Square system, and your ruler does all the work, helps remove that human element so that you get great blocks. Now the other thing about this one, since we do use a sashing and a cornerstone to put it together, you don't necessarily have to worry about this block matching up with this block and these seams connecting. So that's really great for a beginner. And we also do the overcut on the strips on this one, so it helps make your blocks perfect every time. So you won't even struggle with that when you overcut your strips. Now this one is what we call Midnight Orchid. Yes, I have to try to remember all of these names. This is from our batik print fabrics called Vintage Shadows, and we've used the diamond dot, the gray diamond dot from Paradise. With this is the black vine from the batik-like fabric that we have, and then the orchid, the main piece in here. Now you get to choose in your kit, pay attention to the one that you choose, because you can choose either the black vine for your backing or you can choose the orchid. Now there's a couple of kits where we've added the backing to the kit, and it actually helps save you fabric if on these particular quilts. That's why we've added the backing to it, is because you're saving anywhere from 1 to 3 yards of fabric that you have to purchase. Now in some of these, like let's look over here at this Trinity one. Let's move the camera over here to Trinity River Bridge. So this one uses the big floral batik-like fabric. This one is the blue and the gold. And since we have it on the back and we have it for a border, if you know how to cut it all from one piece, then that's how you're going to save your fabric. Because in borders like this, when you have a big print, when it's wide and you don't want to have to piece it, you want to cut it the length of the fabric. So you can get your, let's say that you're getting, for example, 5 yards of fabric. You have that length of 5 yards. So you're going to have one section that's the full 45 by 45 that's going to be the back of the quilt, but you're going to need another section. So you'll cut that hunk off, and then in the rest of your yardages, you'll be able to cut your borders lengthwise so they're all in one piece. And then that other part of the fabric is a long length that can be added to the previous one to get your back. And so otherwise you would probably have to buy 4 yards of fabric for the back of this and then have a lot left over. So anytime that we can incorporate the back of the quilt and the borders in that yardage, we do it, because it actually saves you, like I said, anywhere from 1 to 3 yards of fabric by being able to do that. So this one is one that we've done that with in the kit, and if you saw on the downloads with the email, then you'll have a page on that where we talk about that. And then also in a couple of other quilts, when we come up with them, I'll show you. So this one is called Midnight Orchid, and your pattern for this one is in the reference book. I haven't been telling you where the patterns are for them, but this one is in the reference book. This one is in the Meili book. This one is an individual pattern. This one is an individual pattern.
And I'm sending links, so the link should show
Okay.
on the website.
And then on Pumpkin Star down here, it's an individual pattern. But if you have any of our books or the Americana pattern, some of those, you can get that 6-inch star out of some of those. That's kind of my signature star, and so it's in a lot of different places. For those of you that know my stuff, you can find them pretty easy. If not, it's just a simple little pattern. Go ahead and get it ordered. Okay, so Midnight, and this block I think is an 8-inch, and it's put on point. just really beautiful. And you get to choose from this pretty orchid fabric for your back or the black star. Now this one, I guess I can see a little bit of this one. I need to take some other ones down here. They're all up here in layers, so. Let's move over to this one here so that we can get some of these down and they can see. Now this one is snail's tails, and like with the turkey track quilt and with the snail's tail, if we've made this quilt multiple times and we're just trying to get you to see the combination of fabrics, then we don't always make all of the blocks. So this one and the turkey tracks, our samples are smaller than what the book shows, and your kit makes the bigger ones, okay? So when you read your information, that is all explained in there. Don't think, oh, it's just 2 snails and it's small, because your kit and your pattern is for more blocks. If we're just making a sample and we don't need, 12 blocks for you to get the idea, then we don't necessarily do it. More time, more fabric, more quilting, more everything. So this one uses the purple diamond dot, and it uses the orange bird. You saw this in some of the other ones that we've done. And this one is our stick background from the vintage collection. So here we just start out with a 4 patch in the middle, and we sew around it with strips, trim it up with the 90. We sew around it again, trim it up with the 90, just like you saw me do earlier, and you get this whole square right here, and then just plain square of your colors and your background. And that's just how simple and easy. Because you're making the 4 patch, you're going to have some 4 patches and some strips that you can incorporate in here for your border, and it makes a really nice little border with just the alternating squares, the same as that 4 patch in the middle, and kind of just brings the quilt together. Lots of times your border reflects something. If you're doing a pieced border, it reflects something from the inside of the quilt to help draw that design and that pattern out. And this one is snail's tails, and it's in the reference book. So the turkey track is in the reference book. This one is in the reference book. The midnight orchid is in the reference book. And let's just look at it here. This is our, let's bring the camera down. Let's switch cameras. So this is your #1 book. This is the Square and a Square reference book, volume 1. It has your options, your first 17 options. It has lots of information on building quilts. It has your charts so that you can change sizes and do your own creating. And then it has, gosh, I don't even remember, 30 or 40 patterns in here. So this one is the Ohio Star from the orchid one. And look how you have all of these different sizes. So if you want a 3-inch, a 4, a 5, a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you have all of those sizes of stars in there. So lots of good information. Now also, I want to remind you before I forget that if you're joining Premium Club, you get a discount on your products for like 2 weeks. There's a short amount of time that you can go in and order any of your books and rulers and get a discount on them to get started if you're brand new. So that's always a great time to do it. And the advice from the members of the club, I've seen it on the Facebook page, is to get as many of the books and rulers as you can while you have that discount, because you will love them all. We have the diamond book, which is volume 2, goes into depth with the diamond. I'm trying to think. This Crown of Thorns quilt right here that we're going to talk about in a minute is in this book. And then your Trinity River Bridge, which is this one right here, is in your Melee Women book. Okay? Now, Crown of Thorns and Trinity River will be taught. I don't know if it's before the actual starting of Quilt Club Week, that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or if it's during Quilt Club Week. But both of these you'll see during that main week. Okay, let's look down here at this one. This one is called Pathway to the Stars, and it's in your diamond book. It's one of our new kits that's ready to go. You can see this beautiful flaming black bud that's in this one and in the Gold Rush quilt. So like I said, that fabric is just about all gone. So if you're thinking about those kits or any of that loose yardage on the black flaming bud, you need to jump in there and do that because it will be gone very, very soon. I expect it to be gone. If not before Quilt Club week with the kits, it'll be gone very soon after that because like I said, we're just way down to the end of it. Now this one in Pathway to the Stars, these are these long thin points. Now before I started doing square and square, I would look at quilts with these long thin points and I would think, nope, not going to happen. I've tried it. You've got to cut stuff, lay it just right. You lay in these angles together. You got to draw off these corners and these seam allowances to get them perfect. But this is an option 29 of the diamond shape that we're going to do to make this. It creates these triangles in the middle here and these long thin points. And then we've also used them in the border. We've got 2 of them in each, or I'm sorry, 3 of them in each border. So it really is beautiful to help make this quilt really unusual with the way that you go out and do those corners. So with the square and square system and making these options for your borders, you don't have to do the whole border. You can just do something in the corner. And we talked about that during our border class in Premium Club about how you don't have to piece the whole border. I love it when we have fabric that's just gorgeous all on its own, and I always say the fabric does the work for you. So you can just have a big piece of it and then just do a little bit in the corners or something here and there. And I've seen the pictures of quilts that the students have made in the Facebook page and in the community, and they really have latched onto this concept and idea of the borders, and their quilts are just turning out exquisite, just so beautiful. Now this one in the kit, the back is not part of the kit. It's an order separate. And because it didn't matter with those borders how to do that. Okay, so here you can see Crown of Thorns. It's about 60 by 60. And this, once again, it looks difficult because of those diamond shapes, but it's really very, very easy to do. And I want you to look at this border. So that shape right there, you can see how it's like a big flying goose with this extra little diamond shape inside here. And all of this, it comes from one option. In fact, you get 2 of these from an option. So see how this point goes this direction, and then on your next one, the point goes the opposite direction. And look at that beautiful ribbon weave that it does through the border of the quilt. And with these extra little sparks and points coming out here, it's just really very wonderful. And then here is your block inside here. Let me do it like this. So you see a 9 patch in the corner. You see that option here. This one is like a big flying goose with this extra inside. I think this one is actually called Father Goose. And then just a bigger 9 patch here in the middle. And that's the block, and it's just beautiful and great. Easy to do. Don't let the intricate parts of these quilts scare you and think that you can't do them, because they're so easy to do with the square in a square system. Like I said, most everybody can make most every quilt, whether they're the ones that I'm showing or the ones that you dream up on your own. And this one here, the Crown of Thorns, is one where your backing is a part of your kit, because once again we have these long borders that we cut the length of the fabric, and it helps you save fabric. So you're actually saving money by getting those borders at the same time. Threads all over. Isn't that the way sewing is? We have threads all over us. Okay, so this one down here is called As the Crow Flies, and in this particular pattern, you get this one with the crow and the stars, and then you get another one that's kind of winterish or Christmassy when this one's fall, and you have the cardinal and you have Christmas trees in it instead. And so in one pattern you get both of those, and the little quilt with the cardinal in it, it's right here, so let's go ahead and see it. So as the crow fly kit is ready to go, and this will be some of our Quilt Club week before it actually starts. And then here you can see 'Tis the Season. Now this one Sherry made for us, this sample, you can see how nice and big it is. And she just used fabric from her stash that's in there. And for our kit, let's just look down here at the table. I'll show you all of it here in a minute, but you can see parts of it down here. Camera 2? Nope. Well, I guess you can't. Okay, there you go. So you can see how we have the little trees and the cardinals, and this is the fabric that you'll be getting in the kit. Is this one, and I'll let you see all of that one here shortly when we finish up. All right, this blue one here is Trinity River, and it is in the Melee Women book. This one right here is called Trip Around the Square. It uses option 14 of the system, and so you're going to get this big square with all of these triangle units inside of it with the option 14. Just super easy to do, and we show you how you do half of the quilt, and then you take those scraps and you make the other half of the quilt. So this one is it really helps teach you how to be fabric friendly. And this one is a pre-Quilt Club Week class. And this one uses our batik-like fabric, the vintage shadows, and it uses some of our tattered and torn dirt and some of our check. This is the red vine, the gold vine, the tobacco vine. The tobacco vine is all sold out. I do not have kits scheduled for this one. But if you want one, I maybe can do it. And I always, since I'm the fabric designer and the fabric house for the fabrics that we make, I always hold back some of the fabric. So if people are making a quilt and it's 2 years down the road and they just need a little bit to help finish it up, then I have that and I can do that for them. So always check. There may be some fabric somewhere if there's something that you need that you don't have. Not that you can get yardage of the tobacco, but I can probably make a couple of kits with the tobacco if that's what you need, or have it for you if you run out in time. So we've got one more quilt to show you, and then I'll tell you about some of the sale items and a few other things that I have here on the table for this particular webinar. Now, each webinar, I will be showing you different quilts and showing you different items that are on the sale block and different quilts. So the cool thing about our teaching and our videos is you can always go back and watch them over again. So if you sign up for Quilt Club Week now, you can watch Quilt Club Week 2020, 2021, 22, 23, while you're waiting in these next few weeks for us to open up the 2024 Quilt Club Week. So next week I'm going to show you some of the kits and quilts that we've had in previous, and these kits are still available on our website. So we'll do that next week on Tuesday. This one is one of our new designs. It's called Moonlight Star. It uses our new vintage shadows and this lovely little orange one and our black check from some of our previous collections. And that's one thing that I love is that there's always fabric out of this current collection that goes with the past collections. So you can mix those together, and I really love being able to do that. So this one has the star in the middle with a 4-patch, and then it has an extra border going around it that makes a bigger block. And then we've done little Milky Way stars here in the middle, and then the bigger black star for our border going around on all sides. And really a beautiful quilt, and one of my new favorite ones. I'm really falling in love with all of these fall colors that we have. So let's look down here at the table of some of these things. And then if you have any last minute questions, be sure and get those in, because we're getting towards the end of our video today. So this particular piece of fabric is kind of a green, and the stars have a little bit of yellowish off color on here. This one, we are down to just a few yards of it. I think there's like 4, 5, 6 yard pieces, and they are on sale. And then there might be some fewer pieces like this that are for sale. So this one is as good as gone. A few pieces on the website marked down. Go get it. Beautiful piece to add to your quilts. This one is the Melee book. We'll be teaching Trinity River out of this one, and at the moment that's the only one I can think out of. There are 34 patterns in this book, so a really great book. Everyone loves this one of the Melee Women. And then this is our reference book, Volume 1. I highly recommend it. It's a must. We've got quite a few quilts being taught out of it for Quilt Club Week. And then this one has got Crown of Thorns and Pathway to the Stars are out of this one. And this one we call Volume 2. It's our reference book that deals with the diamond shapes. And this is our reference book that deals with the squares. So what we mean is options 1 through 17 start out just like this with a square. And options 18 up to 39 start out with the diamond in the middle and the strips on the side. And that's what this book teaches. So these are our main 2 reference books. Definitely get at least this one. Add this one if you can. The original ruler. I used the mini today for trimming up. I go to the mini a lot. So you can start out with the mini or the original. And this is what they look like on the website. There's your original one here, and it comes with this great quick and easy. Let me see if I can get it so it doesn't glare. There we go, quick and easy book. And then the ruler is in there. And then all of our rulers come with little books. This is our mini ruler, and it's got this little book. And then this is the Grande ruler. This is great for cutting your strips, your squares, squaring blocks up, trimming options. It's a bigger version. There's a great video on the website that's about 20 minutes long that shows you all of the multi-purposes of that particular one. Okay, so things that we have limited quantities on that I want to point out and that we have on sale. So we have some of the little sewing baskets that we use. They're the Longaberger baskets. We use them for sewing. There's just a few of them left on the website, and they have been marked down just a little bit more. So check those out. But yeah, so there's a search part on the website. You can just type in basket and they'll come up. You can type in sale and the sale items will come up. And a lot of these, there's just like one of the baskets, or like the green star fabric, there's limited quantities, so things will move pretty quickly. Now these are our threads that are the brighter colors, and these are great for piecing or quilting, and you can use these with the Paradise fabrics, and those are your bigger spools. And we have a special to where if you get all 3, then you save. I don't remember the, yeah, I don't remember the, oh, I don't want to open this one. It's not open, but these are the smaller spools. And these are the ones that I'm using for my applique when I use those fabrics. And then this one is the bigger spools again. You can order them individually, or if you get all 3 of them, then we've got a really good special on them. Go check that out on the threads. And there's limited quantities of these. So, okay. Then one of our, there's limited quantities on these. And this is a 2-yard bundle. So you're going to get 2-yard pieces. And you can see in here we have this one is the one that we call Eagle Flag, and it has 1776 and 2026 and 250 on here, because in 2026 America will be 250 years old. So this is one to help us celebrate America's birthday, and with it being an election year and patriotic is always good to have any time for our wounded warriors and quilts of valor. And so this is a bundle with 2-yard pieces. So you're going to get 2 yards of the red, the blue, the white of that Eagle Flag. And then this one is what we call Eagle Vine. You'll get the red, the blue, and kind of the ivory cream. And then these are the ones that are like a tone on tone, and they have the flag on there. And it comes in the green, the blue, and the white. And then you're also going to get a solid blue tone on tone, the blue check, and the red check. So this is 12 pieces, normally $300, that you can get for $199 while our supply lasts. And like I said, there's limited quantities on these. Now, if you're interested in the 2-yard bundle, get it now because it will be gone. If you're interested in some bigger pieces of this, wait. Don't order it right now. See what we have left when the 2-yard bundles are gone for the bigger pieces, okay? So wait. If you want bigger pieces of these, wait. Those will be gone really, really quick. This one is I did the fabric that was the Transcontinental Railroad, and this one has the history book in here and the panel. Let me see if I have a panel over here. And we just have a couple of those left, 1 or 3, something like that, of this little book. Normally $60, on sale for $37. And like I said, I know there's one because I have it right here, but there may only be 3 or so of these left. And then here's the panel of the Transcontinental Railroad. And so you're going to get 1 panel and the history book in that particular special. And then this is like, this little quilt here is the pumpkin star, and here's the little kit and the pattern in there. Or you can order the pattern individually or do it as a download. The quilt is 41 by 41, and the backing, binding, flange, top, everything is all included in there. And then this one right here shows you the fabrics that will be in the kit for the 'Tis the Season, with the little cardinal and the tree. And both this little primitive star, this little pumpkin star, and this one, we'll do these pre-Quilt Club week during those few days before, while we're gearing up. We'll talk about how to make your tree and your cardinals and your stars and all of those things. So what we've got coming up is on Mondays. We will be doing our Premium Club classes, and we have a video for you guys on Monday the 26th to get you going and motivated so that you can have more of an idea of what we're doing for our fall class. You're going to use your stash, so there's no kits required or any of that. And then we'll pick up with our Monday classes on the 9th of September after that. And you can go to the website and go to the calendar, and you can get this information or go to your email. Then on Tuesdays from now to the end of September, we'll be doing our webinars where we're going to be showing you quilts, we're going to be showing you sale items, and to build up to our Quilt Club week. Of course, we want you to come in and join Quilt Club week. If you're new and you're thinking, I don't know, come join Quilt Club week. And then at the end of Quilt Club week, you can jump in and add Premium Club if you want, and take the money that you invested for Quilt Club week and add it over and get your Premium Club. Because Quilt Club week is a part of Premium Club. So if you're already in Premium Club, You don't have to sign up. You don't have to pay. It's already a part of your premium club. And like I said, next Tuesday we'll be back with more teaching, more sale items, more quilts to see, and we'll just be gearing up and doing a lot of teaching and having fun and getting motivated and inspired for our quilt season that's right here upon us. So any questions or comments from anyone? Let me, during one of our Tuesday classes that we do, we're going to go over the hen house. So this little block right here comes from the hen house book, and it's one of the options 43. And this lady right here, she said, "Hi, I'm recently new to the group and to the Square and a Square system. So far, I have completed Dizzy Hen House Squares." So this is the Dizzy star, and this is the hen house block. And so she's very new. And this is what she made. So far, I have completed the Dizzy quilt, and I made a table topper, and I fell in love with the Majestic Star block, which is in one of the books. And I just had to tackle it. It used options 1 and 18. So 18 is that diamond cut in half. I decided to make it into a table runner. I am so thrilled with how this system works. Thank you, Jodi and Steve. So she was brand new to the system, and here she got it done and got it made. This one says, "I recently joined Premium Club and just have gotten started. I'm really enjoying the semester classes. I've been watching your videos for several years and have purchased your rulers and books. And my only question is, why didn't I join Premium Club sooner?" And that's probably the main thing that we hear from people is, why didn't I do it sooner? So a lot of other reviews and questions here, but I think you get the point. I'll read some of those again on Tuesday on our next classes. But I think you'll really enjoy it. I think you'll learn a lot. You'll enjoy the members and the community if you want to, and if you're just a loner and you don't, then you don't have to go in and join the Facebook or any of that. But I think it really helps keep you motivated, and it's fun and exciting to see what the other students are working on. So go to the website, squareandasquare.com, and make your purchases for any of the sale items, or if you want to join Premium Club, you can get in there and start watching everything that's in there. If you join Quilt Club Week, you can go in and start watching everything that's in there from past years and be ready to go when we start in a couple weeks with our new information and our new classes.
And I'll put links in there.
Okay, and Steve's been over there on the keyboard helping answer questions and giving everyone links. Anything that we need to finish wrapping up? So today we were supposed to do our class at whatever time, and we just got started about 10 minutes in. Go back on the Facebook page. You can watch those 10 minutes. I didn't really go over that stuff that I'd already said, but and he'll probably take it down here soon, so go in and watch it quick. But anytime we have any technology issues or the power goes out or anything like that, we'll come back and get started just as quick as we can. Sometimes it's the next day, but we try to do it that day if at all possible with the time.
We've had good without power problems. So.
We haven't had power problems in forever, and we get 10 minutes into the video and bam, it's gone. So yeah, that's a live. You just, if it's pre-recorded, then it goes on, it doesn't matter. But come join us for a fall for our fall semester, for Quilt Club Week, and for quilt season, where we go all year long from August to Mother's Day in May, and we just have a really great time, enjoy each other's company, and at the same time doing what we love and increasing our skills and our knowledge and our capabilities of the different quilts and patterns that we can make. You too can become the piecer that you've always dreamed of. Come and join us, and we'll show you how. Bye for now. See you next week.